Hello again. I want to introduce you now to the lecture modules. In order to access the lecture modules, you can go directly to the lecture modules quick link at the start page of the course, or you can go through content. And once you look at content, you can see the lecture modules right there. When you click on lecture modules, or 5 lecture modules appear. What I like to do is focus on one module at a time. So if I click on module 1, here's all the information for module 1. First, I have the general information. What does the module cover? And here it says that it covers chapter 1 and chapter 4. And then more information. It says that students need to access the module objectives. And note that the module PowerPoints will not be available until the module objectives are accessed. It recommends the students keep the module objectives handy while going over the materials. If I scroll down, you can see that the module objectives are right here. And again, it asks you to access the module objectives. And once you access the module objectives, then the module PowerPoints will be available. It also tells you how to approach the course, to keep the module's objectives handy while reviewing PowerPoints, video lectures, study guides, and review PowerPoints. After you have covered the material, remember you need to cover the KHP graded exercises for that module and the discussion questions for that module. Because the student has already answered the module objectives, the module PowerPoints are available. Notice that the PowerPoint description tells you the number of slides in each of the PowerPoints, which gives you an ability to gauge how long it's going to take you to cover the particular set of PowerPoints. So for chapter 1, there's 102 PowerPoints. You can more or less calculate 60 PowerPoints per hour, PowerPoint slides, I should say, 60 PowerPoint slides per hour, which roughly tells you that chapter 1 will take you about an hour and a half to complete. And then there's about 60 something PowerPoints for the 2 chapter 4 PowerPoints, which tells you that each will take you roughly an hour to complete. Then we have module worksheets and the answers to the worksheets. These are study materials. They're not assessed. There are review questions in the form of PowerPoints also available. And then we have a list of recorded videos that go over the chapter PowerPoints. If I scroll down, there are other extra recording videos. These are shorter versions that cover smaller chunks of material. So you have either approach to either listen to a long lecture covering the entire chapter, or look at the shorter lectures that cover chunks of the chapter. You can do both, or you can do either. Here's the discussion forums for module 1. And then there's a checklist of graded assignments for the module, so you can make sure that you've completed everything before taking the first lecture test. So we have the KHP exercises for chapter 1, discussion questions for chapter 1, KHP exercises for chapter 4, and discussion questions for chapter 4. And then you also need to complete KHP exercises for chapters 2 and 3, which are chapters that they do have KHP exercises, even though the material is not in the test. The lecture test 1 does have release conditions, which means that until you complete the KHP graded exercises for the module and the discussions, the test is not going to be available. The discussion questions can also be accessed through activities by clicking on discussions. I'm going to show you module 2 now, and it has essentially the same format as module 1. Same for module 3. They all have roughly the same format. So you can follow along and notice there's a lot of material, especially review material. Use what is helpful to you, all dependent on your learning modality and the time available.